As you were both saying, he says everything you dream that a football player would say.
Awesome.
Let's not relitigate or any of it. Coach, I'm begging you. You're my coach. I am begging you. I'm an offensive lineman on this team. I'm a running back on this team. Well, I'm the running back on this team. This is a 40-year-old record. It is the most famous record in the sport. I ask you, for those who might disagree, who has the passing single-season record? What is it? Everyone knows Eric Dickerson in 2105. It survived the entire careers of Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith and Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry. And Saquon has a chance to break this record next week. Coach, I'm begging you. Let me play and go for the record. What do you say?
Nah, son, we got bigger things to do. And to me, this team is so set up to make a deep run and to go chase that Super Bowl ring. I'm responsible for the entire organization. And to me, absolutely, I want Saquon Barkley fresh for the playoffs. And if he's fresh for the playoffs, there's no reason why we can't win the whole darn thing. What would happen if this guy gets banged up? Like, you can't do that. I need our team to be popping out of our skin when we get in to make a playoff run. The record would be great. I would love to have that record. But you know what? I'd much rather have a Super Bowl.
I'm coming to my quarterback now.
We're going.
So I just went for my coach. My coach said no. But now my quarterback has a lot of say. Everyone knows the quarterback.
Yes.
So now I got, Coach, a quarterback. I need you to go talk to Coach. I need you to talk him into letting us do it.
You got a half.
Half a game.
Get it done.
101 yards.
Get it done in the first half. We're going to go for the record. Because here's the thing, too. This isn't just going to be Saquon's record. This is going to be this offensive line's record. This is going to be Lane Johnson, who's one of the great right tackles in the history of the NFL. It's his record. Shoot, this is going to be Jeff Stoutland's record as well, who's one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the history of the NFL. Saquon, fellas, you got a half. We're playing against the Giants. Jonathan Taylor ran all over them yesterday as well. You get a half to go get this record. This is something that is NFL history. If this was 170 yards away, we're having a different conversation. He can get 103 carries on this coming Sunday. This is if I'm the Eagles, I want that record in my organization as well. We are an offensive line rich organization. If I'm Howie Roseman, their general manager, who went and broke the mold of his history and signed say, I want it as under my name as well. So I fully expect him to go chase it down. And also, let me be clear. It's not like you can only have one or the other.
Right.
You could go get the record and still be healthy enough to go on your playoff run.
By the way.
Okay. So I don't want to rehash the conversations that we've already had with regards to this, chasing this record and whatnot. But first off, you guys can pretend all you want. You actual football heads will know Eric Dickerson has that record. But I promise you, the vast majority of people do not know that Eric Dickerson has that record and that it was for 2,105. There's just not a shadow of a doubt in my mind. And you know what? I went out and found some Philadelphia Eagles audio, on their like main show. I think it's WIP or whatever, for their event, and they said it. They had the same conversation where they were like, we can go to the link and go ask, 100 people who's got the record, and you're going to get all different names. So no, okay? This isn't the home run record in baseball. It's just not. That's not what football is all about. It's just not. They're not about these individual records. I get going for it. And if that's what Saquon wants, I get it. But I also understand what Rex Ryan is saying, where he's like, I'm responsible as the head coach. I'm responsible for all of this. And before everyone kind of jumps to, what does Rex Ryan know? He's never won a Super Bowl. And it's just like, guys, that's not the response either. That's not the response either. And you're going to now put out that whole O-line out there because everyone should be sitting. Everybody should be sitting and resting up and treating this as a bye. Buys matter in the NFL. Recovering matters. I get it that it's a record for everyone. The O-line, the coaching staff, the team. I get it. You know what's also for everyone? Winning the Super Bowl. And you're going to go up against New York. And they are going to do every single thing they can to stop the Eagles and stop Saquon. They are going to get after him viciously. They're going to treat that like it's their Super Bowl. Their rallying cry is going to be like, he will not break that record, against us. They are going to hit him as hard as they possibly can. And you know what happened last year with the Philadelphia Eagles? You know what happened? And you know what caused that also helped derail their season? A.J. Brown got hurt. A.J. Brown didn't play in the game against the Bucs. Jalen Hurts dislocated his finger. Like, what? Philadelphia Eagles are lucky Nick Foles came out of the middle of nowhere, man. Because Carson Wentz was having an MVP season. He got injured, and that was almost the whole season right there. Again, you needed the superhero Nick Foles. Injuries can happen in any given second, in any given moment. And I understand people are like, oh, you got to play football. But that's why there's buys. That's why these teams want these buys so badly. It's just not smart. If you are trying to win a Super Bowl, it's just not smart. I get breaking this record. I do. I want Saquon to break it. I do. And I also get the idea. It's like, hey, you can break this record and win a Super Bowl. It's not either or. But Saquon and this offense has been through a lot this season. A lot. It's been a very, very, very physical year for the Philadelphia Eagles O-line and run game. It's not even a question. When you're talking about Lane Johnson, well, he's getting up there in age. Like, you just want to be healthy and fresh. Because if you are healthy and fresh, they can win the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? That Lions defense is giving up points to the 49ers. The 49ers have been struggling all year. And yet you could see that defense get got. The Packers against the Vikings, they can't start putting up points into the fourth quarter. But once they start getting things going, they can put up points. We know the Eagles can get going. We know the Eagles can run. I mean, if you're Philadelphia Eagle, are you actually legitimately afraid of? Are you afraid of the Ravens? You beat them. Are you afraid of the Lions? Of the Packers? Of the Vikings? You're not. So what's the thing that can stop you? Injury. Being worn down. Being banged up. Dallas Goedert went down. Devontae went down. Jalen Hurts literally got knocked out of the game. Even if you don't get a bad injury, Saquon could just get a concussion. Boom, not playing next week. Those things matter. Big time Philadelphia Eagles players have gotten injured this year. AJ was gone. AJ was gone. Dallas Goedert was gone. Devontae was gone. Jalen Hurts was gone. You realize every single big offensive weapon was down? Multiple O-line were down? Saquon Barkley has been injured multiple times throughout his career? We got to stop acting like that this is just like we're being irrational here for not, wanting to protect these players and consider injuries. The Eagles have a true, legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl. And if Saquon is fresh and ready to go, he will be a massive reason for that. A massive reason. There is no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And you know what? If he's not on the verge of injury, and he can be fresh and do it all, well, then he'll prove that in the playoffs. He'll win. And then next year, go after the record. Go after the record next year then. Get your Super Bowl, get your MVP. Boom, do it next year. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But we got to stop with this nonsense of pretending like this record. Again, in Saquon Barkley's world, and within the NFL players themselves, yes. They know this record, they've been balling, they've been going, yes. But this idea of legacy and fans and this and that and what will the media say? Bro, the average person has no idea that Eric Dickerson has that record. There's just no way. None. None, none, none. This isn't Babe Ruth right here, okay? It's not what this record is. It's just not. It's really, really not. People didn't really know about this until Saquon Barkley was on track to break it. And again, so I'm sure because so many people are going to flood the comments say, I knew it. And I guarantee you are not the average fan. You either were alive during that era, and so you saw it, or you really, truly know ball and been around it forever. Records are just not that big in football. And it's actually one of the best things about football. It's not a record-driven sport. It's not. It's not a record-driven sport. And if we don't even know how many touchdown passes or yards that Tom Brady has, right? Like, it doesn't get more legendary than that. Tom Brady. How many passing yards does he have? How many passing touchdowns does he have? No. How many rings does he have? Oh yeah, I know that answer. You go play against the Giants, they are going to get after him. The New York Giants are going to get after him. They are going to want to just get after him. And if Devontae's not playing and A.J. Brown is not playing, I mean, first off, A.J. Brown, every time the dude gets tackled, he like lays on his back for a second and like kind of like rocks back and forth. And you're like, did you just tear your hamstrings off the bone? Like, what are you doing? He always looks like he's injured. And you're like, because you're going to have to play all those starters and you're going to have to play the whole O-line. Jalen Hurts is going to have to play, and you're going to need like AJ and Devontae, because if AJ and Devontae aren't playing, then they're really going to be able to go all in on Saquon. And if you're not starting the whole O-line, well, then they're really going to be able to get off Saquon. Like, you understand? Like, you're going to have to play everyone at this point. This needs to be a day of rest. We got bigger dreams ahead of us. The Philadelphia Eagles had a healthy Saquon Barkley against the Kansas City Chiefs in 22. The Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl. This is what the Eagles had in the Super Bowl. Okay? 21 yards from Gainwell, 16 yards from Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts was the leading rusher with 70. And Boston Scott, 8 yards. Okay? They were averaging under 3 yards per carry when you take away Jalen Hurts. If they had Saquon Barkley, they dominate the time of possession. They dominate the run game. And they put up points. And they would be winning this. They would have won the Super Bowl. That's what's at stake right now. That's what's at stake. If all goes to plan, the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley will have another 4 games. 3 playoffs and a Super Bowl. If all goes to plan, Saquon Barkley will be having like 20, 25 carries plus a few receptions. So he'll be touching the ball like 30 times, another 120 times, another 120 tackles. With defenses that are trying to lay the pain on him. When the Eagles play the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, the Commanders, the whoever, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, they're going to say, we need to take Saquon Barkley out of this game. And I don't mean like out of it, like, injured. But like, we got to shut him down. It's going to be all hands on deck every single game in the playoffs. Stop Saquon Barkley. Stop him. He needs to be as fresh and as healthy as he possibly can be. And it goes a long, long, long way to recover when you sit out a game like this. It's why 1 minute a player can be legitimately banged up and like limping on the sideline, and it's like, oh man, he's not good. He misses a game, and the next game, the dude's like 24, perfect, like never had an injury day in his life. Like, that's what rest does. That's what rest does. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think they should prioritize Saquon's pursuit of the rushing record, or should they prioritize his health and winning a Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.